Good afternoon. Welcome to Midweek Musings. I'm Kent Little, Senior Pastor here at Trinity Heights United Methodist Church in Newton, Kansas. As you might tell, at this moment I am in my mobile office as opposed to at the church. I posted a note that today's musings would be a little later than usual. I had a meeting at 11:30, just got done with that, and now I have a meeting at 1:30, and so I thought, well, I would visit with you as I go to meeting number 2. Excuse me for not looking at the camera or at the phone. I want to keep my eyes on the road as I cruise along here. Most importantly, welcome. I'm glad you joined me. It's a beautiful day out. My car says it's in the upper 70s, maybe mid 70s. Just a little bit of a breeze, partly cloudy. Things are going well at the church. Again, getting ready to gear up for Welcome on Wednesdays on the 20th. Got some new members transferring in this coming Sunday, which is exciting. During worship on Sunday, we'll have a mission moment, if you will, from our mission team, sharing with us some of the things they've been up to in terms of outreach and mission work here in the community of Newton. So things are busy. The building is full of scouts again in the evenings, and so that's good. And so things are starting to hop here at Trinity Heights in Newton. So glad you're joining us. Anyway, so this coming Sunday is kind of an extension from last Sunday. Last Sunday we wrestled a little bit with Jesus' teaching about how we should deal with conflict within the church, especially when others disagree with us or feel like they have wronged us. And this coming Sunday is kind of another extension of that, if you will. It's focused primarily on forgiveness and consequences, grace, conditions. It's a familiar passage in Matthew, probably one of the most famous passages when Peter asks Jesus, so how many times am I supposed to forgive someone? 7? Peter is offering up a hypothetical to see how Jesus responds, and Jesus says, no, not 7, but 70 times 7. It's dangerous, I think, to take either one of those statements and questions literally. No, we don't forgive someone just 7 times, nor do we forgive someone just 7 times 77 times. Jesus is using hyperbole here, like he often did in many of his stories and teachings. A lot is basically what he's saying. You just keep forgiving them, and then he tells a story that's even more exaggerated. And again, we don't want to take that story literally either, but listen to it metaphorically as Jesus is trying to make a point about forgiveness and how we relate to one another, and what the expectations of the divine are in our lives. What does God expect of us? And when we don't do that, are there consequences? One of the questions that comes up when I deal with this passage, if we don't forgive 77 times, or if we don't forgive even once, is God going to judge us harshly? So those are some of the things we'll be wrestling with this coming Sunday, and I think it's an important topic. Forgiveness. We talked a little bit about that last week during my musings. How do we forgive? What's behind our forgiveness? That old saying, forgive and forget. Is that even possible? Do we forgive and then just forget it? Do we become a doormat to the point where people take advantage of our forgiveness? I think there are lots of layers and a lot of questions around this passage and the teaching about forgiveness and how we go about that and what does it mean and that kind of thing. So it's not an easy topic. It's not an easy practice, and yet I think in Jesus' teachings there is the expectation from Christ, from God, from the divine, that we do practice forgiveness. And so what does that look like? Those are the questions we'll be dealing with this Sunday. Difficult questions, to say the least. If any of us have ever had to ask for forgiveness, or if any of us have ever had to forgive someone who has wronged us for one reason or another, we know it's difficult, and the way of Christ is difficult. I think I mentioned last week, what did Jesus say about there's the broad way and then there's the narrow way, and I tend to believe that the way of love, the way of grace, the way of forgiveness, the way of Christ is certainly not the broad way. It is the narrow way. It goes against so much of the status quo in our culture and society. It goes against the grain with so many in our world that would have it be the other way, where revenge and taking care of one's own without concern for the other, etc., play a part in our world on an everyday basis. So I hope you can join us this Sunday. I look forward to an opportunity to wrestle for all of us, if you will, to wrestle with the practice, with the Christian practice of forgiveness and how we live that out in our own lives and in the world around us. So I hope you join us this Sunday if you're able. We'd love to have you there. Our traditional service begins at 10 o'clock in the sanctuary. Our contemporary service begins at 11:15 in the fellowship hall. There's a coffee time between services if you want to come and take part in that. But most importantly, if you can be there, we certainly would love to have you be a part. We would really be glad for you to show up. So thank you for being here this afternoon. I appreciate your time, appreciate your presence, whether you're watching this live or whether you join and watch at a later time. Most importantly, know in this moment and all moments, you are never alone. God is always with you, and there is nothing that can separate us from the love of God in Christ. And also invite you as you go through your rest of your day and all the days to come, to be a light and to love one another, every single other, until there are no others, only one beloved community of all. I pray it will be so, and that it will be soon. Have a great day. Goodbye, and God bless.